Welcome to learnhowtogarden.com, and in today's episode of the 10-Minute Gardener we're going to be talking about jobs and things we can do in the month of June. If you're not already subscribed to us at Learn How to Garden, there is a link just above me to the left. If you click on that, it takes you straight to the website, input your email address, and it means you get access to our newsletter every month where we have articles and interviews that we don't put up on the normal websites, and it also means that I can let you know every time we do a new film. June is a really exciting month. It's the month when a lot of our half-hardy veg we can start to sow. If we look down now, if we sort of pan down, these are some of the things that we're going to be sowing this month. These are courgettes, we've got some pattypan squash, we've got asparagus peas just behind me here, we've got butter beans, runner beans we'll be sowing now. If you haven't sown your beans, your runner beans, your dwarf French beans, kohlrabi you could still sow now, even sweet corn, it's been such an up and down year, even courgettes you probably could still sow now and get away with it. And while we're talking about courgettes, one of the other jobs that really you should be doing at this time of year is turn your compost heap. If like me and I'm sitting in my mum's 10-minute garden, she's got 2 compost heaps, we literally take one and turn it into the empty one, and then on top of that we're going to put our tyre and we'll be growing 2 of our courgettes on top of the compost heap. If you've not ever seen that before, there's a great film we did last year about just how productive you can make the compost heap. Melons and cucumbers you could still sow now. Carrots, if you sow them now, you hopefully will have missed the first sort of attack of the carrot root fly. And you could even sow some mixed endives. I've got a pack here, endives and scarioles. This is a nice mix. You can sow that now and they will grow quite happily. But try to avoid most of the Japanese things like Minuba, Mizuna, Komatsu, things like that. If you sow them before the 21st, they're going to run to seed. There's 1 or 2 in this. We've got a salad bed here. These are no-dig beds in my mum's garden. And the lettuce, the red rib dandelion, which in fact isn't related to dandelion, they're all growing quite nicely, but quite slowly. You know, we are behind as a season, so don't panic is a great piece of advice. The tool you should be using more than any other is a hoe of one sort or another. This is a specialist raised bed hoe, but any hoe, and a hoe does 2 jobs. The first, it gets rid of your weeds, and that's really important. And the second, which is nearly as important, is it keeps the surface of the soil friable. Friable means slightly broken up, slightly sort of granular would be a good way to describe friable. And what's important about that is by keeping it friable, it stops the wicking action. So in the baking heat that we're going to get in flaming June, he says, looking to the skies, it'll stop the water from deep down in the bed being drawn to the surface and evaporating off. So hoeing is really, really important. I was asked a couple of questions about can you grow through teram, and I just want to show you something. When we're talking about fabrics you can grow through, they need to be permeable. You need to get a lot of water through it. Teram, which is a black substance, it's for going underneath things like this gravel in my mum's garden, or you use it on a building site before you put down a road. It's to stabilise the ground, it's so nothing gets through. It's a stabilising material, and it's very dense, very thick, and I found it can sometimes stop water getting through particularly well. This, on the other hand, you can probably just see a vague shadow of me behind it, or if you can't, it's probably the camera's fault, is much more permeable. So if you're going to use a fabric that's designed to grow through. It will be slightly more expensive, but you can get it from most good horticultural suppliers, and it's a good way sometimes of growing things like onions or garlic if it went in early in the season. Other things that I would be doing, tomatoes. Your tomatoes need to be getting into their final position now, whether you're using a quad grow or whether you're going to grow using classic grow bags with a grow ring on top of them, or even in your border soil. And with tomatoes, they're very specialised, but try and water before 12 o'clock. Try and water as early in the day, and try and keep water off the leaves at all costs. Those are some little tips which will help your tomatoes grow much better and avoid some diseases. You're going to get some problems with tomatoes, we all do, but you will avoid some if you water very, very early in the day. If you're not following our comparison, which my mom's doing for us in her greenhouse, between sort of classic grow pots and quad grows, it's quite interesting. It's been going about 2 weeks now, and the quad grow's just starting to creep ahead, but I suspect it'll get further ahead as the season progresses. If you do subscribe to us at Learn How to Garden, I'm going to this month I'm going to be doing a really quirky way of growing sweet corn using a green manure, which is quite interesting to watch. Last but not least, when it comes to watering, if you're going to water, soak things, really soak them. Don't sprinkle them with water. One of the mistakes some people make is to do a little bit of water every day. It'll do more harm than good. It'll get a lot of roots towards the surface, and then if you forget to water, we get very, very hot days, it will really bake the surface, bake those roots and cause you damage. Water less often, but soak them so it makes the roots go deeper into the bed. If you're using no-dig beds, which these are in my mum's garden, and I'm a great fan of raised beds and no-dig beds, that does help with the watering, because if you get your finger and push it into the bed, you'll find that it's much damper once you get about 1 inch down. So those are most of the jobs that I would be getting on with in June. There are quite a few things you can take semi-hardwood cuttings of. Osteospermum is a great one. Geranium, well, when I say geranium I mean pelargoniums, not the small sort of herbaceous geraniums, are good at this time of the year. Both of those you can increase your stock very, very quickly. Fuchsias, again, you can really up your stock. Rosemary, great one to sort of increase your stock, because you can never have enough herbs. Thanks for watching. I hope you find that interesting. Any questions you've got, please let me know. Like I say, we'll be doing a quick film on planting out our beans and why we grow them in deep beds in a few minutes. If you want to watch that, it'll probably be put up a couple of days after this. I hope the weather stays as beautiful as it is today. We've just got past Chelsea, so now's the time for the summer to start. Thanks for watching.